I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
When we embrace the reality of impermanence, we capture life's great mystery. A man is walking by a river and comes upon a wise old monk. And he asks the monk, "Please tell me about impermanence. I don't understand it." The monk says, "Before I tell you, take this cup and go down to the river and get me a cup of water." The man goes down to the river, and on the river he sees a boat. And in the boat is the most beautiful woman that he's ever seen. And he falls instantly in love with this woman. And he's like, I've got to have this woman. There's something that's so amazing and so beautiful and so attractive to me. I've got to have this. And he speaks to her, and they instantly fall in love. And she says, "Come, get in my boat. I'll take you back to my kingdom where I am a princess." And they go back to the kingdom, and they have years go by, and they have an amazing family. And it's beautiful. And they're so much in love. And then a tremendous flood comes and destroys the kingdom. And everyone but the man survives. And he is caught by the river and taken by the river to the exact place where he met the monk. And he gets out of the water, and the monk says, "Where is my cup of water?" So the man gives him the cup of water and tells him his story about the princess. And the monk says, "This is impermanence." Someone we know had chronic fatigue for years. She went to many doctors. She took many supplements. She did so many things trying to figure out how to heal her chronic fatigue. And she had it for years. And it was so bad that she had to put a mattress in the back of her van. And she's someone who lives on Maui. And because anywhere she went, she might become so tired that she needed to take a nap right now. And miraculously, not too long ago, her fatigue ended without really knowing why. That is impermanence. Oh, there's a picture of her, by the way. Howard Hughes was a successful businessman, an aviator, a filmmaker who amassed a fortune of fame and fortune in his lifetime. And he was also obsessed with perfection, control, and with power. And he developed a severe paranoia and obsessive compulsive behavior. He isolated himself from the world. He feared germs and contamination and enemies. You might have heard and remember that he spent the last few years of his life in a dark hotel room, surrounded by drugs, urine bottles, tissue boxes. And he died in 1976 at the age of 70, alone and miserable. Hughes' story illustrates how clinging to impermanent things can cause suffering. Hughes hung to his wealth, to his fame, and to his achievements, and he couldn't prevent them from changing or fading away. He clung to his health and safety, but he could not avoid aging and illness and death. He clung to his ego and self-image, but he couldn't escape the reality of his mental deterioration. He failed to accept the impermanence of life and the inevitability of change, and he suffered greatly as a result. According to Buddhism, one of the characteristics of human existence is what? Impermanence, which means that everything changes and nothing lasts forever. This includes our physical bodies, our emotions, our relationships, our possessions, our achievements. And when we attach ourselves to these things and expect them to remain permanent, we set ourselves up for disappointment, frustration, and sorrow. However, when we can recognize the reality of impermanence and learn to let go of our attachments, we can experience more freedom, more peace, more creativity and joy, and discover our full potential. The story of Howard Hughes teaches us that suffering is caused by the fear of insecurity and the attachment to impermanent things. Impermanence is a gift. Impermanence teaches us to appreciate what we have while we have it. You might remember this person who is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2003. He underwent surgery and was given a clean bill of health. However, in 2004, he announced that he had been diagnosed with cancer again, and it had spread to his liver. He underwent a liver transplant in 2009 and returned to work at Apple. However, his health continued to decline, and he resigned as CEO in August of 2011, and he passed away October 5th in 2011. His story is a reminder that life is short and that we need to make the most of every moment that we have. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is subject to loss and decay. The impermanence of life teaches us that to appreciate what we have while we have it, because we never know when it might leave. Impermanence teaches us to appreciate what we have while we have it. We should appreciate and cherish our relationships with our loved ones. We should appreciate our health, our passions, our talents, and our opportunities, because they're not guaranteed to last. By appreciating what we have, we also avoid taking things for granted, becoming attached to them, or suffering from their loss. The impermanence of life encourages us to live in the present moment, to make the most of every day, instead of worrying about the past or fretting about the future. We must focus on what's happening right now, because this is as good as it gets. This is the only sort of seeming permanent thing we have, is this moment. Impermanence teaches us to appreciate the beauty we can find in this moment. Imagine being at a sunset and watching the sunset and thinking, what if this is the last sunset I ever see? And really allowing ourselves to embrace the fullness of it. And saying, I may never see a sunset like this again. Imagine being with somebody that you love and saying to yourself, and in that moment, I love this person so much. What if this is the last moment I ever have with this person? And allowing yourself really to feel it, to be with it, to appreciate the person, to appreciate the love that you have in that moment. Thinking about our friend Omar. He worked with us for numbers of years, and in the last year of his life, we did every other Sunday together, remember? What if we had known the last time that Omar was here that we would never see him again? Right? It didn't seem like it when he was here. It was amazing. We felt this incredible attachment and love for his music and his voice. Can you remember his voice and his presence? So beautiful and so powerful and so incredible. And here, one moment, and gone the next. When we think about the 20 years that we had Kurt, you know, he was here my first 10 years here, and still thought he would be here today. But he experienced impermanence. He was here one moment and gone the next. Whew. If we can just be in the moment and appreciate what is here right now. This is the only moment we're guaranteed right now. Did we ever think that we would never hear Omar or Kurt sing again? Or that we would not hear them? Impermanence teaches us to appreciate what we have right now. Impermanence is a gift. Impermanence, embracing impermanence, gives us freedom. By embracing impermanence, we can learn to live more fully in the present moment without clinging to the past or the future. Does anybody know who Eddie Hilsum is? Have you heard of her before? She experienced and embraced freedom by embracing impermanence. Eddie was a Dutch Jewish woman who lived during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. She wrote a diary and letters and revealed her spiritual journey and her acceptance of death. She wrote, "I have already died 1,000 deaths in 1,000 concentration camps. I know everything. There is no new information to trouble me. I already know everything, and yet I find this life beautiful and rich in meaning in every moment." Eddie had hope. She didn't deny the horror of her situation, but also she did not let it destroy her peace. She saw beauty in nature. She saw beauty in people. She saw beauty in God. And she wrote, "Ultimately, we have just one mortal duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves, and more peace, and more peace, and to reflect it towards others. And the more peace there is in us, the more peace we can project into the world." Embracing impermanence is a key concept in Buddhism, which teaches that the phenomenal world is transitory and changes according to causes and conditions. The Buddha said that understanding impermanence can lead to liberation from suffering because it helps us overcome our attachment and aversion to impermanent things. Embracing impermanence can also open us to a world of endless possibilities, because it shows us that nothing is fixed or predetermined. Embracing impermanence can help us live with more inner freedom because it allows us to let go of our illusions of control and permanence and embrace the reality of change and uncertainty. Impermanence gives us hope and freedom. When we embrace the reality of impermanence, we capture life's great mystery. And this is kind of if you remember anything from this talk today, I hope that you'll capture this idea. Impermanence can help us to realize our true nature and our potential. Frank Ostarsky embraced impermanence and saw himself as a larger part of the whole. He was a Buddhist teacher and the co-founder of the Zen Hospice Project in San Francisco. And he wrote his story in a book titled The 5 Invitations, Discovering What Death Can Teach Us About Living Fully. Frank was diagnosed with a rare heart condition that required urgent surgery. He faced the possibility of dying and decided to prepare for it by writing letters to those he loved, by giving away his belongings, and meditating on impermanence. He realized that everything in life is constantly changing and nothing lasts forever, not even his own identity. He wrote, "Impermanence is a principle of harmony. When we don't struggle against it, we are in harmony with reality. Impermanence is an invitation to participate. It's an invitation to be present, to be fully alive." He saw his illness as an opportunity to deepen his awareness and compassion and to connect with others who are suffering. Frank survived the surgery and recovered from his condition. He continued his work with hospice as a caregiver, a teacher, helping people face death with dignity and grace. He also learned to appreciate every moment in life, to see it as a precious gift, knowing that it can change at any time. Frank's story reminds me of the words from the Seals and Crofts song, "We May Never Walk This Way Again." Remember that song? Frank said, "Impermanence teaches us that every moment is unique and unrepeatable. It teaches us not to take for granted not even our next breath." He also said, "Impermanence helps us see that we are part of a larger whole that is constantly evolving and transforming. It helps us see that we're not separate from anything or anyone. And it helps us to see that when we can embrace the fact that things aren't impermanent, we can realize that, we are here. I believe we are here to create a world that works for everyone." What a great message. Wish some of our leaders and politicians understood it. Right? And that's really what we're here for, to be a part of a world that works for everyone and to create that in our lives and to hold that consciousness. We can use our unique gifts to create a world that works for everyone. That's what I believe unity is about. That's what I believe spirituality is about. I believe that's the consciousness that we can hold for all of us to create a world that works for everyone. Impermanence helps us appreciate the preciousness and uniqueness of every moment. You know, impermanence isn't a negative thing. It's not a pessimistic concept, but it's a liberating and an empowering one. It means that we can let go of our grasping and we can accept things as they are without resistance. It also means that we can appreciate the preciousness of every moment and every person and every experience, knowing that they probably won't ever come again. Impermanence can help us cultivate gratitude, generosity, kindness, and joy. Once upon a time, there was a king who asked the creative people in his kingdom to create a ring that would make him happy when he was sad, and sad when he was happy. The wise men created a ring that said, "This too shall pass." The king wore the ring and found that it helped him get through good and bad times. Recognizing impermanence can help us deal with challenging times, times of loss, times of violence, times of suffering. The words, "this too will pass," are pointers to reality. They give us hope. They give us hope by showing that all the forms are part of the eternal. You know, if we could connect to our eternal selves, to that presence of God within us, we know that life is constantly changing, that it's impermanent, and it's evolving. I believe that the presence of Spirit is an evolving presence. And we are evolving aspects of that presence. And when we can know that and realize that and allow that to be our experience, we can be part of the ever-evolving consciousness that's on this planet that we want to create, that the Spirit within us wants to create. And by accepting the nature of impermanence and not clinging to forms that are bound to change or disappear, we can access a deeper, hopeful dimension of ourselves that's beyond form and time. Zen master Suzuki Roshi talked about a time when he went to Yosemite. And he says, "I was in Yosemite and I saw this waterfall that was 1,340 feet high. And the water looked like a curtain when I saw it coming down. And then as I got closer, I saw the curtain was made of individual drops. And then I thought, what a hard thing it must be for that little drop that was part of the river to be all by itself, falling down 1,340 feet. It felt like our life. And that way we come out of the river of being, and then all of a sudden we're separate for a while from the river, that mysterious river that we're all born from. We feel ourselves separate, and it's not so easy. Then we are rejoined with the river. He says, you do not realize you're separated by birth from the oneness, like a drop of water. You don't realize that you are one with the river, one with the universe, and so you have fear. Whether it's separated into drops or water is water, life and death are the same thing. When we realize this deeply, we have no reason to fear. We have no difficulty with our life. This is impermanence. I accept and celebrate impermanence as a gift of life. I welcome change as a chance to evolve and flourish. Say this with me. I accept and celebrate impermanence as a gift of life. I welcome change as a chance to evolve and flourish. I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath and bring your awareness to the center of your beingness. And breathe into that place. Breathing in and breathing out and relaxing into this beingness that is you. And imagine this life that you embrace, much like the waterfall. The waterfall and the water is filled with droplets who move with the water and are freed and fall down through the waterfall. Just like you have been released into life. And there are perhaps moments of fear and doubt. But take comfort in the idea that you are and will be connected with all life. And you get to be this amazing being, filled with the light and truth of spirit. You get to act as this drop and to share your gift. The gift of impermanence, the gift of creativity, the gift of joy, the gift of life. While it appears as if you're separate and falling through life. And you are connected and will once again connect with all life in a way that you know that connectedness, because that is the truth. And breathe in and breathe out, relaxing into the impermanence, into the permanence of connection, into the permanence of life, into the permanence of beingness. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's just rest for a moment in the awareness of all life, in the silence. Oh, okay. Loving Spirit, thank you for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they are moving through this ministry as us, as the energy of truth. And we release them and know they move out into this island across the universe. And we behold a world that's filled with love, light, peace, joy, and prosperity. And a world that works for everyone. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. All right, so let's see, where are we going from here? I got just a couple announcements, and actually, this is a big moment of today. We're going to do our chaplain induction ceremony. So I'd like to invite our chaplains up here. That would be Marlene, Patricia, Carol, Christine, and Adam. Come on up. Well, this is, who are we missing? Patricia. Oh, Patricia. Marlene's coming. All right. She's coming. She heard the word. How you guys doing?
Excellent.
These are our chaplains, ladies and gentlemen. Come on up, Patricia. As seekers of truth, all of you recognized at some point that you enjoy prayer and that you want to serve this ministry in some way. And so our prayer chaplains, as you know, are here every Sunday to pray with you and share their gifts with you, their gift of prayer. And we recently had a prayer training. We did it over 3 Sundays in the afternoon, and we sort of reconnected with the truth of prayer as Unity sees it, and we practiced praying with each other. So, man, we got our skills down. So if you're looking for a powerful prayer, today is a good day to start. And I have to say, Adam is a new prayer chaplain. He's been kind of operating without a license until today. But today we're going to give him license and open him up and how do I want to say this? What do I want to do with you? Do I want to free you? Release you?
Unleash.
Unleash. So we're unleashing Adam to you today as a certified Unity prayer chaplain. And so I'd like to just appreciate all of you for the love and dedication and service that you give to this ministry. Prayer is one of the foundational principles of Unity. It's the crux, it's the basis of what we do. Knowing that it is prayer that creates our reality, because I believe prayer is everything. Everything we think, say, and do is a prayer. It's about our consciousness. And so these loving people here are here to pray with you, to hold the consciousness. And by the way, during the service, they're praying and holding the space for the service during the service, and then, of course, they're available afterwards to pray with you. So I'd like to recall, maybe you'll recall, from the book of John, chapter 20, verses 19 to 22, when Jesus gave the baptism of his disciples. And the scripture reads like this. On the evening of that day, the first day of the week, the door of the house where the disciples had met were locked. And Jesus came, and he stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." The disciples rejoiced when they saw Jesus. And then Jesus said to them again, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I too send you." And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." The Holy Spirit to me is the essence of truth. It's the essence of life. It's the essence of power. And I know that these prayer chaplains, when they pray with you, are in the same way are releasing that power, embracing it, and enfolding you in that power when they pray. So I want to thank God for all of you and what you bring. And I made certificates for them because, when something's written down, it has more power, right? And so the certificates say, this is a Unity on Maui certificate of recognition. And this certificate is proudly presented to Adam Light Play and the rest of them in recognition of their service to Unity on Maui and completion of the 2023 prayer chaplain training. As a prayer chaplain, Adam and all of them hold spiritual space lovingly listen from the heart, and pray with others, and holds prayer request in confidence. Christine. Marlene. Mahalo. Carol. Why not? Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. And Patricia. So I thought it'd be fun and appropriate to remind these chaplains who they are and how much we love them. So let's hold up our hands and say to them together, prayer chaplains, we love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. And we appreciate you, yes. I realized I forgot that line. So thank you, dear ones. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you. All right. You're dismissed. Yeah, we're unleashing them on you. All right. So these amazing flowers are offered by Bob Offerman in celebration of. Oh, okay. Should we include Susan in this too? Okay, aloha. All right. By Bob and Aloha in celebration of your mom's birthday. When is your mom's birthday exactly? It's the 2nd, and how old is she? She would have been 102. Wow, on the 2nd. Thank you for doing that. And, Bob said he worked all night on this arrangement. And if you know me and you know Bob and you know Kealoha, you know that's not true. What a beautiful arrangement. Wow. All right. And if you'd like to bring flowers on a Sunday, there's a sign-up sheet in the back, and you can sign up and tell us how or who you'd like to be recognized, and then bring flowers on that day. And then you have the amazing gift of being able to bring them home with you to enjoy the rest of the week. So next Sunday is spring cleaning. Some time ago, this amazing house cleaner we had left, and we haven't been able to replace her, so we invited you. So next Sunday after the service, bring a lunch and come in and join us in washing the windows and the window seals and other things around our sanctuary, our kitchen, and our restroom. And please help us out by bringing some cleaning materials as well. I think it'll be fun, and I like to believe that when we work with each other, we create community together. A community that cleans together cleans together, clings together. And so it'll be a lot of fun. Come join us next week, and thank you in advance for being a part of that. And Carrie Sawyer is doing a sound bath meditation Saturday, May 6th. I think is that what it is? I think that's next Saturday. And Joy, you were going to talk about that. Joy's experienced it a couple times, and so we thought it'd be fun to let Joy share with us what that experience is like.
Yeah. For me, anyway, I used to be someone who couldn't tolerate the crystal bowls, and for some reason, they're just wonderful for me now. They really do feel like a sound bath. They're very relaxing and also deepening. You really can connect more deeply with your own Christ self, inner self. I would like to say, it says up there, bring a yoga mat to sit on the floor, but you don't have to sit on the floor. Most of us sit in chairs, actually, so don't let that be a stopper. And I just encourage you to come and try it out. I know it's not for everyone, but if you haven't tried it, come and try it. It's very, very soothing and relaxing and wonderful.
Thanks, Joy. Give Joy a big hand. Thank you, Joy, for coming up here and sharing that with us. All right. Also, coming up, Mike Fleenor is leading a Coastal Land Trust hike Saturday, April 20th. That's not right. Yeah, we're going back in time to do that one. Actually, it's Saturday, May 20th, and meeting here at 3, and he says you'll be back by 7 p.m. And I'd hoped that Mike would have been here today because I was hoping he would explain a little bit more about what that hike is. Because when I thought of that hike, I'm thinking of the one in Hana, right? It's not that one. So anyway, give Mike a call if you're interested. He can give you more information about that. It's easy. Oh, good. Have I been on that one? Okay. It's easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So Unity on Maui's parent organization is called Unity Worldwide Ministries. And it's called that because Unity is a worldwide spiritual movement. And it's just a phenomenal thing that we are. And a few years ago, they put out a statement for social action and spiritual action. And I'd like to read to you what that statement says. Unity Worldwide Ministries, our parent company, is a spiritual organization that aims to make a positive difference in the world through various forms of social action. Social action is the practical expression of our faith and values as we work together to serve others and to improve our communities. It may also involve advocating for social change and justice in alignment with our vision of a world that works for all. Many Unity churches and centers are involved in social causes and changes for justice. Some of those programs support the LGBTQ plus community. It supports Earth Care. And many ministries provide food for the financially challenged. Social action becomes spiritual action when we act from a place of love and compassion and wisdom, and when we acknowledge the divine presence and potential in ourselves and in others. By engaging in social action, we not only transform the world around us, but we transform ourselves. Next Sunday's talk is titled Social Action as Spiritual Action, Responding to the Challenges of Our Time. I'm going to discuss some of the challenges of our time, such as social injustice, environmental problems, violence, poverty, and etc. And we'll look at how these problems and challenges affect us and our spiritual lives. I will share some examples of how the Unity movement and Unity churches and communities are responding through social action, such as advocacy, service, education, dialogue, etc. And I will highlight how social action is a form of spiritual action that expresses our faith, our compassion, and commitment to creating a world that works for everyone. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow, Sunday. Join us next Sunday right here at 10 o'clock. And if you enjoyed the talk today, I summarized it in what I call a walk your talk, and there's a stack of them on the back table so you can take these ideas home and work with them in your own time. All right then, I think that's all that we have for today. So I invite you to stand. Again, thank you for being here. I know that we create this service together. So let's pray and affirm the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us wherever we are God is. God bless you. Thank you for being here today. We won't be able to sing the peace song because Robin's not here, and we cannot possibly do it without her. But I'm going to play this song by Seals and Crofts, "We May Never Meet Again," as we join each other and welcome each other today. So thank you for being here. God bless. See you next week.
Where I live, there are rain.